The war had been over for 3 months when I found her. I was doing what I'd done every week since the Combine forces retreated, searching the battlefield ruins outside New Seattle for salvage. Scrap metal, abandoned weapons, anything that could be sold or recycled. The government cleanup crews had swept through once, collecting bodies and marking hazardous areas, but they'd missed plenty. There was money to be made in the wreckage if you didn't mind the ghosts. The warehouse district had taken heavy damage during the final assault. Entire buildings collapsed into themselves, streets cratered by plasma strikes, the skeletal remains of war machines rusting in the rain. I'd learned to navigate the ruins carefully, watching for unstable structures and unexploded ordnance. That's when I heard it. A sound so faint I almost missed it beneath the patter of rain on twisted metal. A whimper, barely audible, distinctly not human. Every instinct screamed at me to ignore it. The Combine had killed millions of humans during their invasion. They'd reduced entire cities to ash, turned fertile farmland into wastelands, shown no mercy to civilians or soldiers alike. Whatever alien was making that sound probably deserved whatever fate had found them. But I'd been a medic before the war. Before I'd watched friends die in my arms, before I'd learned that sometimes saving lives was impossible. Old habits die hard. I followed the sound to a collapsed section of warehouse, where massive support beams had fallen in a way that created a small protected space. And there, partially buried under rubble, was a Kritak warrior. I recognized the species immediately. 7 feet tall, even lying down, with deep blue skin covered in natural armor plates. 4 arms, 2 of which were buried under debris. Her face was angular, almost reptilian, with large golden eyes that tracked my movement weakly. The Kritak were the Combine's shock troops, elite soldiers known for their brutality and combat prowess. This one was dying. Her armor was shattered, revealing wounds that wept something that looked like silver blood. One of her legs was twisted at an impossible angle, but worst of all was the beam across her spine, a massive piece of reinforced concrete that had clearly crushed her vertebrae. "Human," she rasped in accented English. "Please, water." I should have left. Should have let nature take its course. She was the enemy. Her kind had killed people I loved. Instead, I found myself kneeling beside her, pulling out my water bottle. "I'm going to lift your head," I said, more out of habit than expectation she'd understand. "Try not to move too much." I helped her drink, watching as water spilled from the corners of her mouth. Her golden eyes focused on me with what looked like surprise. "You help me?" Her voice was weak, confused. "Why?" "I'm an idiot," I said honestly. "And apparently I can't turn off being a medic even when I should." I examined her injuries more closely. The spinal damage was catastrophic, even if she survived, which seemed unlikely. She'd never walk again. The leg was probably salvageable if she got medical attention soon. The internal injuries were beyond my ability to assess. "How long have you been here?" I asked. "I do not know, days, maybe weeks." Her eyes closed briefly. "My unit retreated. Left me. I could not move, could not call for help. Radio destroyed. They just left you." I felt a surge of anger that surprised me. "Even in war, you didn't abandon your wounded. That was a line you didn't cross." "I am broken, useless." Her words were matter-of-fact, resigned. "Kritak do not carry broken warriors. Better to die with honor than live as burden." That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. A sound that might have been a laugh wheezed from her throat. "Stupid to human, perhaps, but we are not human." I sat back on my heels, rain dripping down my face, staring at this alien warrior who'd been left to die alone in the ruins. The war was over. The Combine had pulled back. Negotiations were underway. This soldier wasn't a threat anymore. She was just someone suffering, forgotten by her own people. "My name's Nathan," I said. "Nathan Cross, and I'm going to get you out of here." "Why?" Those golden eyes fixed on me with genuine confusion. "I am enemy my people killed, many of yours." "Yeah, they did, but leaving someone to die alone in the rubble isn't justice, it's just cruelty." I stood, assessing the debris. "What's your name?" A pause. "Curavel, warrior 3rd of the Red Claw Battalion." "Okay, Curavel, here's the situation. I can't move that beam alone. I need to get help. That means leaving you here while I go find equipment. Are you going to survive that long?" "I do not know." I pulled off my jacket and draped it over her to preserve what body heat she had. "Then you'd better try. I'm not hauling equipment out here just to find a corpse." The ghost of something that might have been hope flickered in her eyes. "You truly will return?" "I keep my word, even to alien warriors who invaded my planet." I secured the water bottle where she could reach it with her one free arm. "Hang on, Curavel. I'll be back before dark." It took 4 hours, 2 borrowed trucks, and calling in favors from 3 different salvage crews, but I returned with hydraulic jacks, lifting equipment, and enough manpower to move the beam. Tom Rodriguez, former Army engineer and current salvage boss, stared at Curavel with undisguised hostility. "You're seriously asking me to help rescue a Critak? Nathan, these bastards killed my brother." "I know. They killed people I cared about, too." I met his eyes. "But she's wounded, paralyzed, and her own people abandoned her. We can be better than that. We have to be, or what was the point of fighting to protect humanity in the first place?" Tom worked his jaw, clearly wrestling with himself. Finally, he spat to the side. "Fine, but you owe me big time." The extraction took 2 careful hours. Curavel lost consciousness halfway through, which was probably a mercy. When we finally lifted the beam and freed her, the damage to her spine was obvious even to my non-expert eye. She'd never walk again without medical intervention far beyond anything I could provide. "Now what?" Tom asked as we loaded her into the truck bed. "You can't take her to a human hospital. They'd probably let her die out of spite, and the Combine forces are gone. Then I take her home and figure it out from there." "You're insane." "Yeah," I agreed. "I'm getting that a lot today." My apartment was small, but I'd converted the spare bedroom into a workshop for repairing salvaged electronics. I cleared it out and set up a makeshift medical space, using supplies I'd hoarded from my medic days. Curavel regained consciousness as I was cleaning her wounds. She thrashed weakly, those golden eyes wide with panic. "Easy." I held up my hands. "You're safe. You're in my home. I'm just treating your injuries." "Your home?" She looked around in confusion. "You brought me to your dwelling." "Didn't have many options. Human hospitals won't treat Combine soldiers, and your people are long gone." I returned to cleaning the wound on her shoulder. "This is going to hurt. Your anatomy is different from mine, so I'm guessing at what's safe." She watched me work in silence for several minutes. "Why?" she finally asked. "Why do this?" I've been asking myself that question for hours. I secured a bandage. "Best answer I have is that I'm tired of death, tired of cruelty. You were suffering and I could help, so I did. Simple as that." "Nothing is simple." "You're right about that." I moved to examine her spine. "Curavel, I need to tell you something. Your back is severely damaged. I think your spinal cord is severed. That means I cannot walk, cannot fight. I am broken." Her voice was flat. I know I felt it happen, felt everything go numb below. I'm sorry. Do not apologize, you saved my life such as it is. She laughed bitterly. Critak have saying, better to die in glory than live in shame. I am now, shameful thing, warrior who cannot walk, soldier who cannot fight. You're a person who survived, I said firmly. That's not shameful, that's resilient. She turned her head to look at me. You are strange human, kind, soft. I prefer decent human being, but I'll take strange. Over the following days, I fell into a routine. Mornings, I'd go out to salvage, earning money to keep us fed. Afternoons, I'd return to care for Curavel, cleaning wounds, changing bandages, helping her eat and drink. Evenings, we'd talk. She told me about Kritak culture, warrior-focused, honor-bound, where physical prowess determined worth, about her home world with its red skies and massive warrior academies, about her training, her first battles, her rise to warrior third status. And then your world, she said one evening. We thought it would be easy. Humans seemed soft, no natural armor, no claws. Weak, we're tougher than we look. Yes, I learned this. Her golden eyes held respect. Your people fought with desperation, creativity. You turned everything into weapons, buildings, vehicles, even farming equipment. One battle I watched human soldier drive harvester through our lines. Insane, brilliant. Desperation does that. It was more than desperation. It was refusal to surrender, to accept defeat. She paused, like you, refusing to let enemy die. Refusing to be cruel even when justified. Is it really refusal if it's just doing what's right? To Kritak, yes, mercy is weakness, compassion is liability. She looked at her useless legs. That is why I was left. I could not fight, therefore no worth. That's not true. To my people, it is truth. She met my eyes. But you do not see it that way. You see person, not just warrior. Because that's what you are. A person who happens to be a warrior, not a warrior who happens to be a person. There's a difference. She was quiet for a long moment. You are teaching me. New way to think. I do not know if I like it or if I hate it. That's called growth. It's uncomfortable, but usually worth it. 3 weeks in, Curavel developed a fever. Her silver blood turned darker, and she became delirious, thrashing in her makeshift bed. I had no idea what caused fevers in Kritak, let alone how to treat them. I stayed up for 3 days straight, using cold compresses to bring her temperature down, forcing fluids when I could, monitoring her constantly. At one point in her delirium, she grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. "Do not let me die alone," she whispered. "Promise. I promise you're not dying, Curavel, not on my watch." Nathan, she'd started using my first name during the 2nd week. You are. Good person, strange, but good. The fever broke on the 4th day. When Curavel woke, weak but lucid, she stared at me with those golden eyes. You stayed whole time. I promised I wouldn't let you die alone. I do not understand you. By all rights, you should have left me, let nature take course. Yeah, well, I'm contrary that way. I helped her drink water. Besides, who else is going to listen to your war stories? They are not good stories. No war stories are. But they're yours, and that makes them worth hearing. Something shifted in her expression. You have saved my life twice now, first in ruins, then from fever. By Kritak law, I owe you life debt. I am bound to you. I don't want you bound to me. I want you to heal and figure out what comes next. What comes next is question I do not know how to answer. She looked at her legs. I cannot return to Kritak. Broken warriors are not welcome, but I cannot stay here on Earth. Your people would kill me. Not all of them, and you're staying here in this apartment until you're well enough to decide your own future. You cannot keep me here forever. No, but I can keep you here until you're healthy and we figure out options. I met her eyes. You're not alone anymore, Curavel. You have someone in your corner. Get used to it. 2 months after I found her, I came home to find Curavel attempting to pull herself across the floor using her arms. She'd made it maybe 5 feet from her bed, silver blood seeping from reopened wounds where her armor plates rubbed against the floor. "What the hell are you doing?" I rushed to her side. "I will not lie helpless forever." Her voice was strained but determined. "If I cannot walk, I will drag myself. I will not be burden. You're not a burden, and you're going to hurt yourself worse. I am already broken." She slammed a fist against the floor. "I am warrior who cannot walk, I am. Nothing, at least let me. Try to be something." I sat back, seeing her clearly for the first time in weeks. The frustration, the rage at her helplessness, the desperate need for agency and purpose. "Okay," I said quietly. "You want to be something, you want to try, I'll help you, but we do it smart, we do it safely, we build up strength gradually. Deal?" She stared at me. "You would help me. I've been helping you for 2 months. Why stop now?" That's when we started what I came to call rehabilitation. I built a makeshift parallel bars system in the living room using salvaged pipes, created padded supports for her torso, helped her build upper body strength through carefully designed exercises. It was slow, frustrating. Curavel's legs remained paralyzed, but she learned to maneuver using her powerful arms and remaining strength. She learned to transfer herself from bed to her wheelchair, an old manual chair I'd modified to support her larger frame and unique anatomy. "I am still broken," she said one day, 6 months after I'd found her. She just completed an exercise circuit that would have exhausted most humans. "No, you're adapted. There's a difference." Adapted. She tested the word. I like this word. We'd fallen into an easy companionship by then. She'd tell stories of other worlds the Combine had conquered, and I'd share memories of Earth before the war. We'd argue about philosophy, laugh at each other's terrible jokes, and sit in comfortable silence when words weren't needed. One evening, as we watched the sunset from my apartment balcony, Curavel turned to me. "Nathan, I have decided what comes next." My heart sank, though I tried not to show it. "Yeah, I cannot return to Kritak. I am dead to them, forgotten, but here, with you. I am not forgotten. I am seen, valued." She met my eyes. "If you allow, I wish to stay, to remain here, to build new life, adapted life." Relief flooded through me. "Of course you can stay. This is your home now, too. I will need work, purpose. I cannot simply live on your charity. What if we partnered? I salvage, you repair. Your understanding of Combine technology is way beyond mine. We could specialize in alien tech recovery and restoration, make a business out of it." Her eyes lit up. "This is possible. Why not? We make a good team, and there's a market for it, plenty of Combine tech left behind that nobody knows how to use." A smile crossed her face, the first real smile I'd seen from her. "Yes, I would like this partner." We shook on it, her large hand carefully gripping mine. 2 years later, Cross and Curavel Tech Recovery had become one of the most successful salvage operations on the West Coast. Turned out a paralyzed Kritak warrior had mad skills when it came to alien technology, and humans were willing to pay premium prices for working Combine equipment. Curavel had become a fixture in the community. Kids called her the cool alien lady in the wheelchair. Other veterans, some missing limbs or paralyzed like her, started coming to her for advice on adapting to new circumstances. She'd found purpose not as a warrior, but as someone who understood loss and resilience. "Nathan," she called one day from the workshop, "come look at this." I found her analyzing a piece of combine medical equipment we'd recovered. "What is it?" "I believe this is neural regeneration technology used for treating spinal injuries." Her hands trembled slightly as she worked. "I did not recognize it before, but if I am correct, this could repair my spine." We stared at each other. "Are you going to use it?" I asked. She was silent for a long moment, her golden eyes thoughtful. Finally, she shook her head. "No, I will document how it works. We will sell knowledge to human medical researchers. They can adapt it to help many. Curavel, this could let you walk again." "Yes, but I have learned something in these years. I am not. Less because I do not walk. I am not broken. I am adapted, and this technology can help many humans who suffer, who were injured in war my people started." She met my eyes. "This is better purpose, better honor." I felt my throat tighten. "You're an incredible person, you know that?" "I am. Lucky person, lucky that human found me, refused to let me die, refused to let me be forgotten." She reached over and squeezed my shoulder. "You saved me, Nathan, not just my life, but myself. You taught me I am more than warrior, more than what I can do with my legs. You taught yourself that. I just gave you a safe space to figure it out." "We taught each other," she corrected. "That is what partners do." She was right. In saving her, I'd found my own purpose again, had rediscovered the part of myself that got lost in the war, the part that cared about people, that saw individuals instead of enemies, that believed in compassion over cruelty. I'd found a paralyzed, forgotten alien warrior in the ruins, and together we'd built something neither of us could have created alone. A partnership, a friendship, a future. She was still paralyzed, still adapted rather than healed in the traditional sense. But she was no longer forgotten. And neither was I sometimes. The people we save end up saving us right back. That's just how it works.